Metal Gear Solid 4 Integral Podcast. Broadcasted from Konami HQ in downtown Tokyo, it's the world-renowned Metal Gear Solid 4 Integral Podcast.
Alright everyone, welcome to episode number 5 of the MGS4 Integral Podcast. I'm Sean Eystone, and I am here with Aki Saito.
Hi everyone.
And producer Ken Imaizumi.
Hello everyone.
Alright, today we're going to tackle the Confinement facility.
Yes.
So just go ahead and load the save, which you should have prepared a couple weeks ago. And as soon as you enter, you'll get a call from Raiden. Just through it, whatever you want. And you'll find yourself up on a ledge, and you'll have a beautiful view of these salt pans.
Do you guys have salt pans in US?
Not so common. They have salt mines, but I think not so many salt pans. I'm from Hawaii, and they kind of do a similar thing with the seawater. They kind of, have the tide come in, and they have the seawater trapped in kind of like a pond, and then they let it dry and take the salt off of it. But I'm not sure if they have that in the mainland U.S. It's kind of funny how this ended up in here because, originally the crew that went to tour originally.
Yeah.
And they were supposed to go somewhere else that day, but for various reasons they couldn't go on the tour they intended to go on, and the tour guide suggested they come to this salt pan area and took them on a tour there. And the group went there and saw this scenery and thought, wow, this is really great, we want to put this in the game. And so here it is.
It's really, looks pretty beautiful because, these white thing, the salt thing, it looks so real.
Well, at first I didn't know what it was. When I came into the stage, I didn't know what they were because, I was so anxious proceeding forward, actually. But when you take a good view, well, actually, I think a lot of people did, but, traveled around here, up on the salt pans here and there, made you kind of look again, look twice. I mean, at first, I thought they were like kind of huts.
Kind of like burrow, kind of like a living underground kind of thing.
During elementary school, I had this class where of Native Americans. No, the Incas. Incas, and we kind of clay modeled these houses and huts that was made of mud, and this kind of reminded me.
Oh, okay. The house?
Yeah, houses and things like that. So I thought it was like that. But actually, it isn't because the height is so. As a house, it's just too small.
Right.
That's true.
Well, one thing about the height, actually, is that when they actually went to these salt pans, they were actually much higher. But when we wanted to put them into the game, they were a little bit too high because it's just too easy to hide. And so the game didn't really hold up. So actually, the height was intentionally lowered a little bit to make you have to kind of crouch and hide as you proceed through the area. But, since you mentioned the Inca thing, actually these salt pans, according to the tour guide, have been around since pre-Inca times.
Oh, really?
So it is, an old tradition in Peru where, the native people do this. There's like an underwater stream, and they irrigate it into these salt flats. So the water that comes out from underground, of course, is full of salt, and then they let it dry in these pans, and that's where they got their salt from.
I see. Well, yeah, it definitely kind of reminded me of that elementary school art class that I had. So, Sean, where are we going to head?
All right, so if you proceed down the slope a little bit, first thing you'll see is a military vehicle coming in from your left.
Yeah.
And when you get to the bottom of these steps, to your right, you'll see an enemy. So let's put him to sleep. Okay, so let's try and climb up onto one of these salt pans, because there's a cool octo camo that you can get up here. As long as you're laying down, you won't get found by the patrolling PMT soldiers. So let's just talk a little bit. In the last stage, we talked about, being able to save octocam patterns.
Yeah.
So for people who are trying to collect really unusual patterns for their octocamo, you can actually get a unique pattern of these salt flats, which you can get nowhere else in the game.
Cool.
So for anyone who wants to have a complete collection of obscure octocam patterns.
Okay, so we got this unique, this stage only.
Right.
The salt pan camo.
Yeah. If you go and save it, you'll notice it's actually not called salt camo. It's water camo, but it's a really unique pattern. And basically the different camouflage falls into different categories, like water camo or soil camo. And it's called the same thing, but the textures are all different. All unique depending on where you took the sample.
This definitely doesn't look like water.
Yeah.
More.
Well, it's salty water, right?
Yeah, it looks quite cool.
That was really tough job you guys are doing, and making those camel patterns.
Uh-huh.
That was really hard because they make the background graphics, they make all kinds of those camel patterns. Took a long time.
Yeah,
too.
and
Must be more than dozens of them.
oh, 100. I mean, it's a lot. I don't even know how many there are.
Yeah.
But new ones would always keep on popping up also because, they're always tweaking the art and, you want to tweak something. Oh, it'd be cooler if it looked like this. But then, of course, as soon as you change it, you got to change the octo camo.
Yeah.
So.
Is it unlimited? You could save how many camouflage patterns?
I think we have a maximum number.
Yeah, but quite a lot. You could save quite a lot.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And then where do we?
So we're gonna go to.
Where are we heading?
Okay, you'll see the road a little bit further down this ledge. And this actually hooks up to the road that you saw earlier. Now, you could take two routes here. When you come down to this road, you could head to the right, which kind of goes, I guess, to the east, like to the northeast. Or you could take the left. If you take the right path, it'll head to the confinement facility, which is a pretty big facility, and there's a lot of battle going on there. So that's more of an action-oriented approach. On the other hand, if you want to take the left path and kind of stick to these salt flats, these salt pans, you can head up to a smaller facility where some POWs are being held and help them escape. It's kind of a shortcut. So let's head to the left because it's the sneakier route and there's some pretty cool items in that direction.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. So stick to the top of these salt pans. Don't go down to the road. Just kind of sneak along here in a crouched position. You'll see guys here, so be careful not to draw attention to yourself. If you are spotted, just go ahead and put them to sleep. Okay, so proceed onward. Sticking to the left path.
It's kind of a small corridor.
Yeah, you'll kind of go, there's like an archway.
Yeah.
Head through these archways.
So we're proceeding through this corridor of salt pans on your right, and also there's some salt pans on the left top, right?
Yeah, kind of up the hill, there's a lot of salt pans, and it just kind of cascades down the hill towards the bottom.
Okay.
So we just want to stick to the high road here. Don't take the lower road. You'll see some enemies patrolling down there. So you can go ahead and put them to sleep.
Okay, so we take the road alongside this fence.
Yeah, there's a wooden fence, and it heads up behind another one of these billboards.
Okay, we'll stop once we hit the green part.
So head up till you get to this grass, and then you can just hide in this grass here. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so from this vantage point, you can see there's a guard tower in the distance and a few guards patrolling the yard here. So, you want to take these guys out. Just go ahead and do that. Take these guys out.
You missed it.
Yeah, I missed them. Let me try that again.
It's a little too far.
Yeah, it's pretty far. If you're using a sniper rifle, you can probably get this guy. But if you're using your Mark II pistol, it's a little hard to hit him. But yeah, just go ahead and take these guys out.
Okay. And then where do we?
So we're gonna go to.
Where are we heading?
Okay, so now you want to head down the hill. There's a shack on your left.
Yeah.
And you'll see there are some POWs in that shack.
Yeah.
And so we want to free these guys.
Okay.
And keep on going until you hit this truck.
Okay.
When you get to the truck, turn to your left, and you'll see a couple of enemies. There's one enemy standing in front of that small building to your left, and another enemy beyond that in the larger L-shaped building. So what we want to do is put this guy to sleep, who's guarding this small building. But be careful, because when you do so, the guy inside of the larger building may come out to fight, so be careful and be ready to put him to sleep as well. So put him down and go into the building and save the resistance members. You can also pick up a Playboy inside of this room. Okay?
Yeah.
Alright, so now let's head back outside. So go outside of this small building. Then as soon as you exit the door, turn to your left. You'll see the larger building straight ahead of you. So let's head that way. You should be heading west. And head forward until you hit the wall of this large building. When you do, just follow the wall around the corner. You should be heading to your left. And then when you round the corner on your right, you'll see a door. So let's head in through that door.
Okay.
Once you enter the building, you want to just be heading north and go through the door on the north end of this room, and beyond that you'll see another room with a hole in the floor.
have this broken hole. Yeah.
And near that, you'll find a very cool item, the VSS silenced sniper rifle, which is a very useful item. So go ahead and pick that up. And there's also a stun grenade and a bunch of other stuff here. You can also drop down to the hole and pick up a bunch of more, cool little items. One thing is if you free the prisoners and you set them free and you follow them, they actually run past the guard station, that tower at the far end. And near that station is a path that leads to the east and down to kind of like a mine shaft.
Let's head that way.
Right.
Okay.
So basically just backtrack, head back out through the door on the south end of this room. And as soon as you go out that door, turn to your left. And basically you just want to head straight on out until you hit the truck outside.
Yeah.
Once you get to the truck, turn to your left and you should see the tower straight ahead.